What's going on, guys? I'm actually pretty sick, but I wanted to get this video up anyway for you guys. So yeah, if I have to blow my nose or cough or look like death, that's why. But yeah, pretty straightforward. So I actually got a lot of really positive feedback on the Mega Metagross video that we did, the EV guide, kind of introductory to building a bulky EV spread for Mega Metagross. People seem to really enjoy that, and so and they asked for more, and so I figured, I didn't really have any teams that I felt like playing with today, and since I'm sick, I kind of wanted to do something that was low-key and more easy for me. So today we're basically taking a look at Incineroar, which is debatably the best Pokemon in the format. It's probably the most popular one. I haven't actually checked the statistics, but so we're going to be building an EV spread for it, kind of taking a look at some of the things you can do, and yeah, not intending this video to be super long, but just kind of taking an introduction into some things that I look at when I'm EVing my Incineroar. Granted, I've only used it once this year in tournament on the Stack Attack team. I didn't use it on Charizard, and I didn't use it on the Internationals team, and that was my only events. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it. So we'll just jump right into it. So a lot of people, I saw some comments that were like, "Hey Wolf, I can kind of follow what you're doing, but I have a hard time kind of knowing where to which Pokemon to calc against, without practice." And so I have internets pulled up here. We can also go to VGC Stats. Is a really good resource. VGCstats.com. Also, Trainer Tower has good stuff. And this just, if it'll load, it normally takes a second. But basically, you can just kind of look at common Pokemon. So if I have this website pulled up because a lot of times I think Pokemon makes sense in the context of teams. With Incineroar, that's a little less true. It's still true, but yeah, I don't know. It's definitely not as true. We can come back to this. It might not load because I'm recording as well. But anyway, you can kind of get a sense for what people are using and just calculate against kind of basic things here. So, just as a general rule, normally you want to make sure your Pokemon's HP stat, if you're trying to be bulky, is as high as possible. That's not always true necessarily, but yeah, basically the times where that's not going to be true is if there's a really big discrepancy in a Pokemon's HP stat versus its defense stat. Something like Snorlax is an easy example. Cresselia actually has good defenses, so it's not an example. Drifblim has huge HP and really not great defenses, so that's an example of a time where you want to invest in defenses before HP. But for the most part, Pokemon like Metagross, Landorus, and Incineroar, unless you're trying to EV something specific, which is the case sometimes, but if you're just going for general bulk, you're going to want to raise your HP first. Layla, you can raise your defense. Snorlax, you can raise your defense. Mungus has good HP, but normally people invest anyway, but you don't have to, just as a general rule. But we're not talking about that, we're talking about Incineroar. So, like I said, the first thing I normally start with is the speed stat. So, which Incineroar do we want to use? We could use this one, we could use this one. None of these Incineroar really, this team might have Tailwind, so we could go fast Incineroar to outspeed Koko and Tailwind, but I think that's kind of dumb. Yeah, let's say this is a Tailwind team. So let's just take a look at potential speed stats. So the baseline is 0, right? You don't really need any speed. Actually, you know what? Let's make a general EV spread for Incineroar, and then we can come back to speed later. So we're just gonna make a general spread. So first things first, let's take a look at the #1 Pokemon in usage for the whole year, not including after when Intimidate was released for Incineroar, under C. So it's pretty easy to see that even with no investment, you'll take an Earthquake easily. First thing I'm going to do here is add max HP. Say, okay, this looks like in order to make this a 3-hit KO, we'd probably need a lot of investment. Yeah, about that much. If you wanted to be really safe, you'd need 220 defense stat, so that's probably too much and also kind of silly. That also kind of tells us that probably this is going to OHKO. Yeah, so we can see here that we're not living Tectonic Rage, and we're not being 3-hit KO'd by Earthquake. Let's give ourselves a Figgy Berry, because that's a good item for Incineroar. Assault Vest is good as well, but we'll just say Figgy Berry. Okay, so Rock Slide is always going to be a 4 KO, Earthquake is always going to be a 2 KO, kind of just some food for thought. Let's take a look at Tapu Fini maybe. So we can say, okay, I'm just doing this because I know. We can say, okay, Tapu Fini, how much investment do we need to survive a Specs Muddy Water? And we see, okay, we kind of already do that already. Specs Scald we need more for, but that's not super common, and we're never going to live Water Z without an Assault Vest. If we were Assault Vest, we'd need, what, 108 investment to always live? Yeah. Am I good or what? That was impressive, right? I swear I didn't prepare that. This is just, I've been doing this so long that I just kind of intuitively can guess how much investment you're going to need from the baseline. But anyway, this isn't about my incredible guessing abilities. This is about other stuff. So we see we're always going to live Specs Muddy Water. That probably means we're never going to be, it's going to be really hard to be 3-hit KO'd by non-Specs Muddy Water. And yeah, it's about the same as Landorus. You're going to need about 212 probably. Yeah, a little bit more. Yeah, that's too much investment in my opinion. So we can't, so what have we learned so far? We can't live Z Muddy Water. We can't leave the Earthquake. We're not really worth investing anything for making this a 4-hit KO. That's not my phone, I think. Wait. That's not my phone, I'm sorry. Someone else's phone is making noise. It's not me. Oh, but my phone is unmuted. So for you guys, we're going to mute it. Yeah, we can take a look at other Incineroar. Say, okay, like how much is like low kick going to do? That's not really worth investing in my opinion. Yeah, so we've kind of covered these three, kind of found there wasn't really too much we can do. Now, I already know that Tapu Koko is something you can EV to survive. So with Life Orb, you can see it's like, you can make it never proc your berry, but that's not really a calc that's useful. What you can calc, though, is how much is Z Thunderbolt going to do? And as you can see, that's a really good chance to OHKO. And nothing we've run into so far, none of these mons are really things that Incineroar wants to be attacking, per se, so I think it's okay that we haven't invested. Again, like the default nature here, especially for a slow Pokemon, is going to be one that raises your highest stat, so we're going to put Adamant for now. Let's just see how much investment it takes to survive Thunderbolt. Okay, it doesn't need 204, I think it might need one, oh, it needs less than I thought, okay. So if we go 124 special defense, we can live Gigavolt Havoc most, like, 94% of the time, which I'm comfortable with personally. So let's say that's a good benchmark. So now this is kind of starting to take shape. So we can live Gigavolt Havoc from Koko, which is really good. That also means well, you can add a little bit more if you want to be 3-hit KO'd by Thunderbolt from no item Koko, but I don't think that's common enough to warrant. But as you can see, if you ever run into that or think you might run into that, it's just one more point in your special defense. But every point matters, so I don't normally do that. Metagross. Okay, I know for a fact that Metagross has some interesting things you can do with it. So let's pull up Metagross. Okay, so Mega Metagross, Stomping Tantrum, pretty much never 2-hit KOs, but I think we want to make that even better. So, okay, 4. Is that right? Let's make Adamant Mega Metagross never 2-hit KO. Let's see how much that does, because that people are running Adamant Mega Metagross, as we saw in our last video. Let's see how much investment it takes to, yeah, 92 defense. We can put 4 in speed just automatically, and let's pull it into some offensive moves here. Flare Blitz and Knockoff. Cool. Just less than I thought it would. So let's just max attack Incineroar. Even that doesn't always OHKO, unfortunately. So we can just go ahead and add what we have left over into attack. We're not OHKOing Mega Metagross, which is a little bit lame, but to start, this spread is never 2-hit KO'd by Adamant Mega Metagross, which is pretty good. So now you can see we've kind of got a baseline here. Like, we could take some defense out for attack. We probably want to leave the special defense alone unless we have a really good reason to. For example, if you wanted to go faster. And at this point, I would just kind of calc some more things, like Tapu Lele, can't spell. Moonblast is never a 3-hit KO. That's a really, really nice piece of information. That's actually super nice. I'm sure we'll live Zapdos Gigavolt Havoc, like, definitely, but we can just see how much it does. Yeah, it actually does, like, not very much if they're not invested. Even with max special attack, it will always proc your berry. Thunderbolt never 3-hit KOs, just stuff like this. Snorlax, not really worth calculating again. So we can calculate Charizard Y and see how much are we taking from, like, Heat Wave. This is timid, we can make it modest. Heat Wave does like 4-hit KO. Overheat actually does a lot. Wow, that's really strong. Overheat does a lot, but that's fine because it's Charizard Y, Overheat, and Sun. You can see, like, are you going to 2-hit KO Cresselia, which isn't super common. That does nothing. Electric Seed. Why didn't that work? Enigma Berry? You can't knock off Eviolite? Oh, is it giving it the boost? Doesn't matter. Anyway, expert, like, so you're not going to 2-hit KO Cresselia. So then, like, based on your team, so, like, let's just take a look here. This team with Incineroar. So, like, on a team like this, does he need more attack investment? I really is having, like, since I'm not the one who built the team, it's kind of hard for me to answer because like I don't really know this team, but you know, like, for example, for Justin Burns here, he was like, yeah, like, I really need my Incineroar to OHKO or to, like, have better to OHKO Mega Metagross, you know, after a U-turn chip all the time. That should do that anyway, but let's just, like, some type of, or, like, you know, something like that. Or, like, I really wanted to always OHKO opposing non-bulky Mega Gengar, because I don't think we're going to KO. That's the wrong Pokemon. Mega, oh, Gengar. Yeah, so as you can see here, we actually don't OHKO Mega Gengar. So maybe he says, like, okay, like, I'm comfortable not taking Adamant Mega Metagross, because I don't think that's super common, so let's drop this back to 4. Nope, the opposite of what I wanted. And this should be, like, 108, maybe? 124? Yeah, so, like, yeah, so then he could say, okay, like, I'm really not comfortable, like, with this role, like, maybe I need more attack and less special defense, etc. Or you could say, okay, like, maybe we don't care about the defense, but we can see how fast can we go with this spread and still keep the Koko roll the same and the attack the same. And you can see we can go all the way up to 92, which is pretty good. I don't think we actually put the attack. I think we just put the attack, which was left over. So you could do something like this to go, like, as as much attack or as much speed as possible, while still keeping your other calcs the same. 96 hits 182 after Tailwind, so like if you really wanted to outspeed Mega Metagross, you could do 95 and add 12 more in your attack stat, which would be definitely an option. But what was our spread? It was like 92, 36, 4. Is that going to add up? Cool. Yeah, so this is just kind of like a baseline. Like I said, it really depends on your team, and it depends on the other Pokemon that, your team, the other Pokemon you have on your team, and also specifically what you need your Pokemon to accomplish here. So although this is a generic spread with some common benchmarks, there are definitely different things that you might want to do depending on if you want more speed or more power or less bulk, and you can kind of spin things around. But that's just kind of a generic bulky standard Incineroar EV spread that I came up with just here in front of you. So I hope you guys found this helpful. If you want to see more of this, it seemed like it was positive, but if that, I'm sure people will eventually get tired of it. So yeah, but if there's other Pokemon you want me to do this for, let me know in the comments down below, because I can do this for any Pokemon, because I don't plan this in advance. I literally just talk through the process that I use while I actually make spreads, so it's really easy for me to do this for any Pokemon. But yeah, if there were other things that are unclear, if you have other questions, go ahead and leave them down below as well, because I'm doing my best, but this is so second nature for me to just do this thought process with a lot of the things that I do. So sometimes I forget that there might be a disconnect. So anyway, yeah, I think that's all I want to say. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.